Hey everybody, welcome to Power Ridge Homestead. This is Teresa and this is the kitchen. I've been doing a lot of outside work and I thought, well, better do some inside work too. So tonight we're making chicken pot pie for dinner. And I went to Costco. I got the roast chicken. I want to try and make this as easy as possible. I pre-made some pie crusts last week, I guess it was. I made 5 pie crusts. I only needed 1 at the time. 5 of them, so I froze 4. Took 2 out this morning, and it's just about 3 o'clock now, so they're just about thawed. You can keep pie crusts in the freezer, I think, for about a month, but they should be used up. And who doesn't want to have a pie anyways, right? Whether it's a fruit pie or a meat pie, or you make turnovers, you make apple blossoms. You can do lots of stuff with the pie crust. And have some fun with it as well. So I'm going to get started. I'm going to take the chicken apart, and then we have to make gravy, add some vegetables, and then we're going to put this all into the pie crust and then bake it off for dinner. So let me get started with taking the chicken apart. So something that I always do is that when I have a chicken from Costco is everything gets used, whether it gets used now in the meal or it gets used later on as a stock or as a just put in the freezer for later. What I'll do sometimes is if I've got lots of bones left over is I'll actually go ahead and freeze them, and then once they're all frozen, then we're able to add them as a stock later on. So what I like to use for chicken pot pie is the thighs and the legs. I like the dark meat for the pie. You can use white meat though. You can use anything you want. You can cook your own chicken as well. There we go. So what you want to do is just cut it up into small bite-sized pieces. Okay, so then what we're going to do is we're going to take off the rest of the meat here, and I will put this in the fridge for sandwiches for later, or you can also just freeze it for later as well. All right, so there we go. So this is what I'm going to use for dinner tonight, this cut up piece. I'll use this pile for dinner. This pile will go into the freezer bag, and then I'll make stock out of it. And this one here, this pile here of chicken breast, I'm going to put that in the fridge for now, and then we'll probably end up having sandwiches tomorrow or Tuesday as well. Probably about, let's put in 3. 2 carrots. Let's get everything washed up. You also want 1 onion, some fresh garlic. And normally you put green beans or corn. You can put whatever kind of vegetable you want, really. I'm going to put some broccoli that I bought the other day. Okay, let's get this stuff chopped up. So, let's do some garlic and some onion first. There we go. Lots of garlic. Onions. Some celery here. Ends. Find sometimes that they're just too tough. So we want to make these small enough so that they are easy to eat and quick to cook as well. Okay, and the carrot you don't have to peel. I'm going to. It's been washed, so I'll just peel it anyways. definitely a lot of fiber left in those carrots. Ever since Alana convinced me to buy this, this is the best vegetable peeler that I've ever owned. This is a Costco vegetable peeler, and I love it. And I will link Alana in the description because she's a fabulous Costco representative. I'm just going to grab a different knife for cutting these carrots because that was just a little bit too small. And probably the wrong one. Okay, so gotta remember we want to cut these up smaller. We're gonna leave, these are the bottoms of the carrots, we're gonna leave those, but these are the tops of the carrots, we're gonna cut them a little bit more still. About 2 cups of vegetables. It's 2 cups not including your onions and celery. So if you're going to put any other vegetables like I am with the broccoli, we're going to add that. Now everybody also says save your stems. You'll make some soup out of them. I never have. But everybody says save your stems. So, no, we're not going to. They'll go in the compost. My birds, I have some Godian finches, and they just love broccoli. So we're just going to cut this up into smaller pieces. Let's see what we got. Yeah, it's definitely 2 cups. With the broccoli and the carrots. Now the carrot sticks for later. That's going to go into the pie. Chicken, so we've got chicken, veggies, celery, and onions. So let's get started putting them all together. So first off, what we want to do is we want to add some butter. Turn on our I'm going to turn on our pan. Add some butter. Maybe about, I don't know, 2 tablespoons. What we want to do is we want to make a roux. We just want to add the butter, get it melted. There we go, that's bubbling a bit. So we're going to sprinkle in our flour. And this is what's going to make the gravy. Stir it all up. Now you want to let that cook for a minute so the gravy, so the flour gets cooked. And then what we're going to do is we're going to start by adding, so we've got some, it's just butter and flour at this time. Okay. Then we're going to add some onions. And let them sweat off for a minute. And you can see that's helping split up the flour and that a bit as well. So it's not one big clump. Make sure you keep it stirred. You don't want to burn the flour. And now we're going to add some celery. Oh, and garlic. Turn it down just a tad. Sorry, smell it now. The onions are cooking. And we're going to add in our veggies. And this is going to be the gravy base. That's going to go over top of the chicken. Okay. And again, you want to make sure you don't burn it. Okay, and then we're going to add some stock. It's about a pint of stock. I always go slow on the chicken stock because I don't like the stuff that's at the base. So you can strain that out when you're making your stock. 2/3 of a cup, half and half. So we don't have half and half, but I do have cream. So we're gonna add some cream. Salt and pepper. And something that goes really good in pot pie is thyme. So if you have some fresh, or if you have some dried, don't put the stems in though, if you can help it. Maybe about a teaspoon and a bit. So we're going to let that heat up, and we're going to get started on the pastry. These are all melted now, or defrosted. I used the recipe off the Costco. So I've made pie crust in probably about 30 years. I'm terrible because I'm just as a convenience freak, and we'll go buy a tender flake. Why not? What we want to do is we want to put this down on the flour. It's a little sticky. I don't know if that's because it's Crisco or if it's just because it has been frozen. So we're just going to give it a little bit of flour. And then we want to roll this out to about 12 inches. And as much of a circle as we can, of course. And we do have marks on our silicone sheet here, so that will definitely help. This is the pie shell we're going to use. It's stone from Pampered Chef. This is the bottom that we're going to do first. Might work. Look at that. You don't want to leave it too thick because then it will not cook properly. There we go. I think that's good. Let's check it. See how well it fits. Yep. That does well. Okay, so then we want to take the crust, and how you want to do this is, let's take a little bit of flour. And you want to roll this onto your rolling pin without breaking it. And then you can roll it off your rolling pin as well as you can. So there we go. So now let's fix it. So we want to pull it up along the edges here. Make sure you tuck in the sides. Pull it up a little bit more if you need to, but tuck in the sides so that they're actually in along the edges. Okay. There we go. It worked. We'll roll up the edges a bit more just because we're going to have to make them join with our top. So it is a little smaller than I would like it, but I didn't want to make it any smaller than I did, or any, you know what I mean. So now we've got to put in our chicken. And because this is cooked, we don't need to worry about pre-cooking the chicken, of course. I'm just going to put this aside while I do the top. I found that the Crisco recipe was very easy. Now, I don't know who uses it, or does anybody else use it? Okay, and there we go. Now, you can slice this as well because, where's my, just grab the knife. Because you're going to put this on top, you want to have some vent holes. So we'll just do a couple little ones here. We're also going to do an egg wash. Okay, and here's our gravy. Looks good, doesn't it? Very tasty. So we're going to add this right on top. A little bit on there, that's okay. Don't worry about it. Add a little bit of flour on top so it doesn't bother it when it rolls. So we want to do the same thing here. Cover base. Roll this up. Okay, and we'll pick it up. And then we're going to unroll it on top of the pie. There we go. Could have started over a little bit more, but that's okay. So there we go. Okay, now you've got these steam vents because it is going to steam. I'm going to cut off just a bit of the pie here. The pie and make fluted edges. Pick up the bottom and just kind of put them between your thumbs as they join. There we go. Now we're just going to make a bit of an egg wash for the top, make it nice and golden. It's just 1 egg and a couple teaspoons of cream or milk. Pastry brush. Make sure you get around the edges. Clean up the rest of this mess while the oven preheats to 425. Okay, what I always suggest is if you're doing a pot pie of sorts, is to put it on the tray so it does not overflow into your oven. Hey folks, so a couple of things. 2 cups of vegetables, not including your onions. You can put different spices in. What I would always suggest is thyme. Not thyme, but thyme. Yeah. Time after time. Thyme. Thyme. Either fresh, if you've got it, you can put some in there, or if you've got dried, that's fine, or ground, that's fine as well. But I would always suggest thyme with chicken when you're doing a pot pie. You could add other things too, rosemary, savory, that type of stuff. It all depends on what you've cooked your chicken with, or if you've roasted a chicken that you're using. The pie itself can be stored in the fridge for about 5 days. The gravy will thicken as it cools, of course, and then you can just reheat it in the oven, maybe at 375 until it's hot enough for you. Because everything's cooked, we're just putting it in the oven now for 35 minutes. So up to 38. Watch it, make sure it doesn't burn, but you also want it to get golden brown. And then we're just going to take it out of the oven, and I'll show you what it looks like. We're having salads with it tonight. So that's our healthy dinner for tonight. It was quick, it was easy. And there you go. Can you hear it sizzling? Just got the oven. I love what the egg wash does to the crust. Isn't that fabulous? So I'm going to let that cool before I cut it. I've got to run and get Cecil and then make salads when we get home, and it should be good. All right, folks, let's cut into this. It's the best way. Let's do it this side. All right, let's try it. Really good. Really good. So I'm going to put some dressing on my salad. A couple of things. If you're going to use these salad toppers. Don't mix them in your bowl. They go to the bottom. Use them as they're supposed to be used as a salad topper. Croutons are fine. You want to do a little thing?
A what?
A little thing?
What little thing?
I don't know. Tell them.
I don't know. You got me on the spot here.
I do. How's dinner?
Dinner's fantastic.
What's the pie like?
The pie is great. The crust is flaky. The filling is superb.
Salad?
Salad is salad.
What do you think of the salad topper?
I don't know what a topper is.
The seeds.
The seeds, yes. It surprised me, but it's quite good.
Good. Excellent.
Like and subscribe.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Like Cecil says, don't forget to like and subscribe.